Afternoon, Jurgen. You're live on Sky Sports News this afternoon. Before we look ahead to the weekend, I want to ask you how important today is for the city, for the region, ultimately, I suppose, the country as well, with the start in Liverpool of the pilot scheme for mass coronavirus testing.
Big day, actually. I hope, and we try to do everything to make the people aware of the big opportunity we got. I think everybody who was involved in that did really a good job. That it's possible now, and I hope it's just a start for everything. But you live in Liverpool, so did you get already tested or?
A family member has been tested down in Bebington, but for the nasal test, it's I think the nearest place for me at the moment is the exhibition centre down at the King's Dock.
I think that's the issues for a few people. I'm not sure 100% that everybody knows exactly where is the place for him to go and all these kind of things. But it's a little effort everybody has to do and to put in to that he can really, or she can get tested, just to know how it's a big step, I have to say, that we really to save our loved ones, friends, colleagues, everybody. And I really hope that as many people as possible use the opportunity, because it is a big opportunity.
Onto the football. And last season, victory over City at Anfield, I think, moved you 9 points clear with 12 games gone. Obviously, the season before, you were a centimetre away from a point at the Etihad, which could have given you the title. So this season, this game, you can move 8 points clear, albeit they've got a game in hand as well. So the obvious question is, what significance this game holds for the title race at this stage?
That's a surprisingly gentle way to ask it. You are usually a bit more on the front foot for that. So it looks like even you think it's not a decider. So come on, it's a very, very difficult game. Hopefully for both teams, because both teams will perform on a high level. So that's it. We are that early in the season, and so many things are different this year. Nothing is to compare with last year. Nothing is to compare with the year before. So it's, I said, everything is different. And we just have to make sure that we get through very intense periods, line up the fittest players, and play the best football we can. And in this case, it is against Man City, which is obviously one of the most difficult games to play in the world. And that's it, pretty much. I enjoy these kind of games. I enjoy the preparation for the games, but it doesn't make it easier. It's just a really tough task.
Just looking at your front line as well, Jurgen, and the way that Diogo Jota has performed. I know we spoke about him the other day as well, but have you now effectively got a front four where any three from that four is as strong as the other?
First and foremost, we have much more offensive players, thank God. And pretty much all of them delivered for us in their moments. And so if it's Divock Origi, if it's Xherdan Shaqiri, and all these kind of things, Takumi Minamino, that's really good. That's really good. That's important. Unfortunately, it's the only area where we have that number of players in the moment. But it's anyway good. And and it's very good for us that Diogo could settle that quick, and that he can gain confidence that early, because it makes everything easier. So not scoring the number of goals he scored so far wouldn't have made him a worse player. It would have been completely normal if he would have missed chances instead of scoring. So, but now I love it, obviously, that this, like he did it, and the way he played and the way he contributed so early. So that's all very positive. And yes, we have more than 3 offensive players, and they're all good. That's why they have a contract here.
You've got centre halves pushing for a start though as well. Nat Phillips, Reece Williams, Joel Matip coming back from injury, and separate to that in midfield, I just wonder though, how is Thiago, and is he ready to return yet?
No, Thiago is probably not ready to return. That's what I said in the beginning. Maybe it's people. I'm not sure. It was not 100% clear what I said, because I didn't know. It's there was no surgery needed, but it was still an injury. So, and with these kind of injuries, it's always like you look day to day. There can be big improvements from one day to the other, and all these kind of things. But in the end, then when a boy has no problems anymore, then he has to train. The longer he's out, the longer he has to train until we consider him again as a first starting lineup player. And that's obviously not the case so far with Thiago. That means he will not be available for a Sunday. But that's it. Yeah, same with the centre halves. Good. The boys enjoyed the challenge. It was a challenge. It is a challenge, and so now we saw that they are obviously able to do some special stuff, and I'm really happy about that. And yes, Joel is back, and he's now back like 7, 8, 9 days in training, which helps a lot. And after the game, there will be another 14 days training for him, so that helps as well. So we will see what we do for Sunday.
Thank you, Vinny. Go and book your test, and we'll go to Simon Crabtree from Pro League Productions and Juliet Farrington after that. Simon.
Hi, Jurgen. Just while you're saying that everything has changed, one of the things that seems to have changed from before lockdown and now is the actual amount of teams that are winning away from home. I know it's only a relatively small sample size, but 160 before, 166. They've gone up a decent amount. And given that the away side has only won 1 in the last 23 of this particular fixture, whether it be at Anfield or at Etihad, from your point of view, does it make any difference at the moment whether you're at home or away?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. For us, we love playing at Anfield. So it's a wonderful place. Everything, the dressing room is great. The way to the dressing room is great. So everything is great. So then it's our home. Anyway, so yes, that makes a difference. But I don't think we made a big difference in our approach to home or away games. So it's not that we want to be at home dominant and away like a deep sitting team and going for counterattacks. But saying that against Man City, exactly that can happen, obviously, because of the quality they have. And it happened to us in games, even in home games. We scored our goals from counterattack. So yeah. I think when you go through the specific games, we won at home years ago, like 4-3. That's not the biggest score line, let me say like this, then we lost there 2-1. We lost high, yes, last year, but that's a game I like not to consider with all the other games, because it's just we were 3 days before we became English champion, and that's there was a pretty special time for us, and so all these kind of things. For me, it's not important if we play away or at home. For me, it's really important that we compete, that we are really there, that we have our own plan and not only think about their plan. That we are brave, that we play football, that we defend with all we have, and then we have a chance, but it's very difficult. This is the most difficult game in the world of football, I would say, and to play against Man City. And so we have to prepare for that.
And just finally for me, just to come back to defence, if he's selected, this will be Joe Gomez's 100th career league appearance, which, considering some of the injuries that he's had, it's brilliant for him to get to that total and still be out there and giving his best. Over the last few games, because of maybe the increased responsibility that he's had in the absence of Virgil, how do you think that he's responded to that challenge?
Very good, very good. So he's still young, eh? So again, impressive number, impressive boy. When I came here, so he's 5 years here. Oh, well, he came before me, so he's even longer here than me. And he played left back, he played right back, he played when Brent played with 3 in the back, different positions. He played together with Kolo Touré, Mamadou Sakho, Martin Skrittel, all these type of guys. Then Dejan Lovren, Virgil van Dijk, Joel Martin. So he had so many different partners, but he was always the kid in the line, pretty much. And that changed now, obviously, completely. And you know how everybody in life has, we have to grow in situations like this, and he did that. And he used the last few weeks, obviously, it was pretty much thrown in cold water, if you want. He used it really well. Did really well. I'm really happy about this, the performance he put in, and very important for us, obviously.
Okay, thank you. We've got Juliet Farrington from the BGC, and I think we've got James Mountford from BBC Merseyside, and then James from TalkSport. So it's Juliet next.
Jurgen, just going back to Diogo, and you spoke about how he settled in so quickly. You spoke about it earlier in the week as well. He was saying after that game against Atalanta that he's playing in the best team of his career. His career, in a way, is still such a long way to go. So what can he be achieved? Because it just seems that I don't know, has he surprised you how quickly he's settled in and the impact that he's having so far?
Not sure surprise the right word, but I don't expect that, to be honest. I give the new boys the time the individual needs. So, and that takes sometimes longer and sometimes not that long. We had other players who, I think Virgil van Dijk played a week after we signed him, or a few days after we signed him, and scored the first goal. That's pretty special as well. So there's not one way for all the players. No, he is the player we thought he will be, and we thought as well that we can help him to reach the next level. Like he can help us to reach the next level because of his quality. So still very young, 23, experienced. Anyway, played in one of the hardest working teams you can face with Wolves. A very, very demanding manager. So he knows that offensive player has to do different jobs, not only creating and scoring. He has to work hard and all these kind of things. So that helps us. That all helps us, and helps him, obviously. So really happy about the impact he had so far.
Fantastic. Thanks, Juliet. We'll go to James Mountford from BBC Merseyside, and then James from TalkSport.
Hello, Jurgen. I believe this is your final press conference at Melwood before you go off to Kirkby. So I just wondered what your feelings are about leaving Melwood and what sort of a place it's been to you and the future as well.
No problem with that. It's the last press conference, but because I will not miss that too much. But no, it's mixed emotions, 100%, because Melwood is such a wonderful place and played a big part in my life. I was here for 5 years, even longer next week, and really special place. But the good thing is, a place is always as good as the people in it, and we will take them all to Kirkby. So Kirkby will be immediately a special place as well. So that's good. But of course, it would be strange if we would be happy to leave here, because too much happened here in a good way for us, and so we had it's a really good time here. But that's life. Things change, and you have to adapt to the changes, and sometimes you are a step ahead of the changes, and sometimes you have to follow up and all these kind of things. This time, Melwood would be still good, but would not be good enough in the future. So we've tried to prepare the future now, and that means we leave a really good place and go to an even better one.
And in terms of that better one, how much input have you personally had into the design of it, and ultimately how is it going to help you as a football club, as a football team on the field?
Not sure what you mean with design, but for a good reason, at home I'm not involved in design questions. So it's all Ulla's, and she was not involved with Kirkby. I was involved in all the useful stuff. Let me say like this: pitches, where and how, and gyms and indoor and all this kind of stuff, all the things we really need, and not in the rest. So had nothing to do with that, because it's not for me, that building. That building is for Liverpool Football Club for the next 500 years, if you want. And so it's much more important that will be, that not I'm pleased, but it must be right for all the other people as well. And so yes, for me, most important stuff I was involved in, the other stuff not.
Okay. James from TalkSport, and then we'll go to Carl. James from TalkSport.
Jurgen, we know that Chelsea and Spurs have improved in the summer and started the season quite well, but do you still see Manchester City and Liverpool being the main title challengers this season?
I never saw it like this. I don't know where that's coming from. For me, each season, completely surprisingly, starts at 0. So, and we all have the same chance, and it's about how go you through the difficult parts of the season? How can you find together as a team, as a group? How lucky are you with injuries and all these kind of things? So, for me, it's that this 2-horse race thing was never a phrase I not only didn't use, I didn't even think. So because I'm not interested, I'm interested anyway only in one horse, and that's us. All the rest can obviously do whatever they want and whatever they are able to do. And we face them then twice in the Premier League a year. Yes, and you're right. It's Chelsea and Tottenham, really good. Arsenal, really good. Leicester, really good. Everton, unfortunately, really good. And these kind of things. So there are a lot of teams fighting. And maybe I forgot somebody. And Man United, people write off always pretty early, and then in the end, they will be there as well. So it's always the same. We all fight for the Champions League spots. And when you are close enough to that, then you can be champion in the end of the season. That was always the same and will be always the same. And it's so early in the season, I don't know who will be the top horse at the end of this season.
Okay, Carl Markham, and then I think Nate Williams, and then sorry, I got it right. Yes, Nate Williams, and then we're going to go to the embargo. First, to the embargo section, which is the dailies, which will be 10:30 on Friday. Just people start using hands up now for that. Would be great. But Carl, first of all.
Where's Carl?
He's top yeah. Lovely. Well, Carl.
You reckon he said he's there? Thank you very much.
Yeah,
No.
They can see.
They can see, but now they can see it.
You okay?
Yes, Carl. Go in, please.
Good. You touched on this in midweek, but Diogo Jota's form was seen as being something of a negative for Roberto Firmino. He's always been a big game player for you. I just wonder if you can talk through the qualities that he has and that he's produced for you in the past.
Bobby, who is with us, I don't have to say one word about Bobby Firmino and how important he was for us. So I don't waste time with that. Who is not with us, I don't care if they know about him, to be honest. So he was in so many games the difference maker without scoring, maybe, I'm not sure, but with scoring as well in other games. So that I would feel really embarrassed if I have to mention now the qualities of Bobby Firmino.
I appreciate that, but I think, but people often look at it at hard facts and they quote the goals and stuff. But we see, when you watch him live, you see things differently. And I just wonder if you explain, people might not see that.
I can't help these people. Sorry, if they don't see it, I cannot help them. That's how it is.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you.
Now you see it, Carl. We'll change the role to attendee. We're finishing with Nate for the open, and then we're going to the embargo. Okay, Nate, final question, please.
Hi, Jurgen. Your team over the last few seasons has been described as mentality monsters. You always seem to approach the game in the right way. So going up against former champions in Manchester City, what is the best way to approach this game? Is it to forget the term title decider?
First of all, I don't think that people always think we find the right approach. I'm 100% sure they didn't think we found the right approach for the Aston Villa game. But thank you anyway. On behalf of my players, I take that. And so it's, of course, nothing even close to a title decider. So I don't know what it is. It's a football game, and I can see it. I cannot look at match day 8. Already, I don't want to know, because nobody can know what will be at match day 38. So there are so many games to come. Whatever happens on Sunday will not decide about the league or whatever. Too much things can happen, especially too many things can happen, especially in this year. We all know you need to be lucky with injuries, and you need to find a way every 3 days to beat the next opponent, which is itself already incredibly important. But with the game, the last game in your legs, it's more difficult. And I don't speak now about this specific game because City and us, we both have like 4 days between the games, which feels like having a summer break and a preseason before a game. And so that's good. So no excuses apart from City is really good, and we have to play absolutely our best to have a chance, but actually that was always enough for us to know.